What? Wagwan. The entertainment feed community, Wagwan. It is the 3rd of the 6th, 2021. Spotlight Thursdays, and I hope on the day been good so far. In today's report, we have a few things to talk about. We have to talk about what's going on in Parliament, well pertaining to the entertainment industry. And on that, we get this from the Prime Minister. According to the Prime Minister, words from the Prime Minister. Our entertainment industry. I have met with some stakeholders in the entertainment industry, and we will have more meetings with them as we seek to identify how we can safely and in a limited way reopen the sector for the summer. I am aware of the hardship being experienced within the industry, and we are doing our best to enable its opening in a safe and sustainable way.
Madam Speaker, the government is cognizant of the devastating impact that the pandemic has had on the entertainment industry and the large number of persons who depend on the industry for their livelihoods. We are engaged in discussions with the industry with a view to agreeing the appropriate protocols that could facilitate a limited reopening of the industry in the summer. Madam Speaker, you will recall that in our previous attempt to allow entertainment to open up in the summer of 2020 was one of the factors that resulted in our first spike. The discussions have been constructive and encouraging, and the industry has expressed a commitment to implementing strict protocols to allow it to operate in a safe and sustainable way. Let me say, Madam Speaker, on Saturday I had a very useful meeting with some representatives of the entertainment sector. We intend to have a series of such meetings in the coming week up to next week, and that will include cinema operators, party promoters, selectors, all the stakeholders. Because we did it the last time, they put protocols, they suggested protocols, ODPM worked with them, Ministry of Local Government worked with them, the Minister of Entertainment. We came up with a plan, but it wasn't always followed strictly. This time we're going to go through another process of meeting with the stakeholders. I'm certain that they have a better understanding of what to do. And so I would say in another 2 weeks, we should be able to come to Parliament with a plan as to how we're going to reopen the entertainment sector. You know, Madam Speaker, we did it with bars. You will recall how we did it. It was a phased approach. We monitored, and I think the bars have generally operated fairly well. We want to bring the entertainment industry back, but we are very cautious, we are very careful, and we would need the strong commitment of the stakeholders.
A few people in the comment section going against what the Prime Minister stated. For example, Debbie Lawless stated lies the spike was because of elections. Stop tell lie and blame the entertainment industry. Before we make hear more from the Prime Minister, here's what Damian Crawford had to say pertaining to the most recent election, the entertainment industry, and the spike of the COVID-19 virus across the island. Pre-Wagwan.
Mr. President, with all fairness, and I've been consistent. And you see, that is what I learned as a child. My father used to tell me the truth is constant and consistent. The truth can't change. I was in the wilderness as one of the very few politicians who constantly said no election should be called, publicly and openly. I said no election should be called because the activities of an election were likely to contribute to everything opposite to that which has been proposed by the Ministry of Health. Let us look at the things proposed. Let us look, just give me a chance, just today. Let us look at what was proposed by the Ministry of Health. The Ministry of Health proposed that there should be a limiting of inter-community movement. No election limits inter-community movement. The Ministry of Health said that there should be a limiting of people interaction. No election limits people interaction. The Ministry of Health suggests that the activities of an election were likely to create risk for an increase in COVID cases. Not only did the ministry, and I mean, I am consistent. Nobody can say that I have changed my opinion pre the last election and now. Nobody. In fact, some of the people were saying some of the people were saying that it was making the opposition look afraid for a person of such high office to be openly saying no election, no election, no election. Now let us go further. The bill before us now also states that calling an election in a spike is a risk that they are unwilling to take to call this local government election. That is what this bill is proposing today. Now you can claim you learned after the last election, but you cannot claim that the last election did not contribute. Let us go further. The Ministry of Health spoke to nomination day impact. That after nomination day, they expected a spike. The Ministry of Health, not Damian Crawford, the Ministry of Health. And Jamaica Labour Party has the cabinet, yes, under whom Minister Tufton, yes, is the Ministry of Health. Is the Minister of Health. The ministry said they expected a spike after nomination. Okay. Nomination is a necessary part of an election. No, I'm talking about me, Damian Crawford. It goes further. The Ministry of Health predicted, yes, after nomination day, yes, that they expected a further spike after election day. Yes. And that has proven to be true. Okay. There is in scientific research a concept we call correlation. Correlation. And while correlation isn't causation, correlation is a reason to seek, yes, information if there is causation. There is clear correlation, yes, between what was the case prior to the election, yes, and what has been the case since the election. That's right. Clear correlation. So therefore, the government should not be allowed to be absolved. There's a decision that was to be taken only by the Prime Minister. Yes. That is when an election was to be called. Right. No matter what the opposition said or did, the Constitution offers him that right. Maximum right. That was an election that wasn't due, yeah, until 2021 March. He sought political advantage, yes, which he gained. He gained. And I mean, we can assume. But also, he gave us governmental disadvantage. He cannot be absolved from the downgrade to level 4 by the United States government that Jamaica is now level 4, putting greater risk to the tourism industry. He cannot be absolved. And secondly, he cannot be absolved from the losses that the economy will take further. That's right. Because as you would have said, and many Jamaicans agreed, before the act of an election, the management was good. Yeah, the numbers are good. Many would agree. The logics of the numbers show that. No, Senator Webby. There was a time, Senator Webby, Senator Webby, you would agree that there was a time that Jamaica's numbers were not moving with the rest of the world. There was a time that the government was so proud of their actions that they were on TV 6 hours and 5 hours a day explaining how they were managing. And their reasons. One of the spike, the Black Lives Matter march in America contributed to a spike. Yeah. The elections in America contributed. How is it that the government of Jamaica can say that the parties contribute to a spike in the holiday, but I can't say that the election contribute to a spike? How can they say the entertainment activities? Not me, the Prime Minister said that. Yes. That one of the reasons they are putting the Christmas under strike, yes, under suspension, is because when they did a little freedom in the it was the emancipation the emancipation, it led to a spike. Then how they can blame entertainment for a 2-day period, and I can't blame them for a 30-day period? That's not reasonable and truthful. The other thing is, there's no scientific evidence where, and the scientists tell me that.
Back over to the Prime Minister, words from the Honorable Andrew Holness. And of course, this is about parties/entertainment. I understand why people may be upset seeing parties being held in one area of Jamaica while parties in another area are restricted. Let me say clearly that no such events have been sanctioned by the DRMA. As I have said, I have started the process of determining if there was any administrative complacency, negligence or complicity in the circumstances surrounding the holding of the event. Already action has been taken in keeping with the DRMA and regulations under the TPDCO protocols. We recognize the vital importance of tourism to the country in terms of employment, foreign exchange, and local link.
I understand why people are upset seeing parties being held in one area of Jamaica while parties in another area are restricted. I understand that. You know, there are people keeping parties in Canefield and the police find them and arrest them. That little money, mash up. In my own constituency, Madam Speaker, I spent a lot of resources, my personal resources and state resources, in creating the hip strip in West Central, St. Andrew along Olympic Way. And I know they are feeling it, because that is a party central area for Kingston. But parties can barely keep. So I know they are feeling it, and I know they would be very upset to see advertised on social media people partying elsewhere in Jamaica. I am upset too, I must tell you. So let me say clearly that no such events have been sanctioned under the DRMA. The DRMA does not give any authority for such events to be kept or any leniency as to how enforcement should be done. As I have said earlier, I have started the process of determining if there was any administrative complacency, negligence, or complicity in the circumstances surrounding the holding of the event. Already, action has been taken in keeping with the DRMA and the regulations under the TPDCO protocols. One thing you can say about this government: the law will be enforced. I'm very upset, like everybody else, that this happened. It should not have happened. It has happened, and we have acted. And I want to be clear, we have arrested people keeping dances in Canefield, and we have arrested people keeping party on top of high-rise buildings. We have applied the law equally. Some people would want to use it as a defense for their case. Say it's only poor people you're attacking, or say it's only this set of people you're attacking. No, that's not true, and that must be rejected. We must never allow the narrative that the government is just targeting one set of people. Never allow that, because it is not true.
I don't know why from the little part there, stating that we recognize the vital importance of tourism to the country in terms of employment, foreign exchange and local linkages. Come on, one thing I get from that, the Prime Minister tell us that tourism is so important to Jamaica that him should even not bother sanction the people and put on Walker Fest or Rick's Cafe, I should say. Because the Prime Minister understands the vital importance of tourism to the country in terms of employment, foreign exchange, and the local linkages. Nation, I want you to tell me nothing about that.
Right now, me have good news and me have bad news. The good news is Jamil is now baptized. The bad news is
The curfew will begin at 8 p.m.
tired are you? Andrew only said the dancehall party them cause a spike in the pandemic.
Not no more, sir.
And the Mocha Fest was an international event, so nothing can spread.
Jamaica continues to manage the pandemic, the social stability, economic activity.
There is a ban on parties. Nightclubs are banned from operating.
Move your blood clot! Never had been seen this yet.
You know, if you were to take Jamaica and compare it to other countries in the region,
We need justice! Justice! We need!
Nation, I want to tell me what I think about that. You see what time o'clock, you see what time o'clock. We are hurry and get the f*** out of here. And as usual, my people. But Wagwan.